Listen to Ward and Al. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Canada Talks, Sirius XM 167.
Please welcome the founder of the Live the Smart Way empire, Kathy Smart. Because let's be honest, I was looking you up and stuff, and I was like, first of all, your resume. Here's how your resume goes, okay? Registered nutritionist, holistic chef, author, personal trainer, gluten-free expert. I'm like, more titles. Why so many titles, Kathy?
It's so cute. I've been doing this now for 19 years. So I just always love to learn more, and my followers and my people. So I'm very much like, okay, how can I get better? How can I learn more? So I just wanted to keep learning, and it just kept adding more stuff.
Well, okay, and so tell us and tell our listeners, because I guarantee 90% of them don't know, what is gluten?
What an awesome question. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, contaminated oats, and rye. It's actually a protein. It is like, think of gluten as the glue that holds everything together. So when you take a bite of fresh bread, for example, and you pull it away from you, that pull, that stringiness, that's gluten that's keeping it all together. But the problem is so many people have issues with gluten, either with celiac disease, which is what I have. I've been a diagnosed celiac since I was 12, or gluten intolerance, or people that have a lot of autoimmune diseases find they feel so much better off gluten.
Well, and here's what I find really irritating. And I have, Ward and I are both stand-up comedians, and I make jokes about gluten now. Because what I found is no matter what your issue is, someone is going to go, oh, you should try gluten-free.
It's so true.
And so my big joke is like, oh, you're still getting chemo? I told you to go gluten-free. Like,
yes,
people are for sure overestimating its abilities when you go gluten-free. Am I right?
It isn't a cure-all.
Yeah.
It is an excellent thing to do if you have celiac disease, or if you're gluten intolerant, or if you have autoimmune issues, because there are over 50 diseases that are related to gluten. However, I don't want people to think that, if they have a sore toe, they go gluten-free, it's a cure-all. You really need to do it right, and you really need to educate yourself, and you need to do it healthy. Right, because just because it's a cookie with lots of sugar, but it says gluten-free on it, it doesn't mean necessarily that it's good for you.
That's like the fat-free craze, right?
Totally.
It's fat-free, but it's gummy bears, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, exactly.
They said fat-free on so many things, but for it to be fat-free, they had to load it up on sugar.
That's just it.
So you said 50 different diseases involving gluten. Give me some, because celiac disease is the only one that most people probably know about.
Yeah, for sure. So some of the ones that have been really benefited by going gluten-free is thyroid disease, autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's disease. Also,
what is that?
Yeah, that sounds cool.
That does. That sounds like a
like a ninja thing.
An action movie.
It does sound cool, doesn't it? Actually, my sister-in-law has Hashimoto's. Not a fun disease to have. It's an autoimmune disease dealing with the thyroid.
Wow.
Okay.
So gluten really inhibits the thyroid hormone. So a lot of people that find they have those types of autoimmune diseases dealing with thyroid, when they come off gluten, it really is helpful. Also, too, a lot of mood issues are really affected by gluten.
No, they're not! Oh, I'm sorry.
He had a lot of gluten.
You're awesome.
This morning.
I was just eating some bread.
Oh my gosh, I knew it.
So I didn't think about that. I mean, I think about it as far as bloating and digestion, because I think of celiac disease and all that. I wouldn't think that the mood could be altered by it.
For sure. Even
Other
attention
than crabbiness,
even attention deficit disorder. Some people have a lot of brain fog when they eat gluten. And so it can really, really help them. But again, I really want to stress it's important to educate yourself and do it properly.
Well, that's interesting, because as people have become more aware of gluten, not necessarily what it is, but just that it's a thing, more gluten-free products are coming on the market, and which in some way I think is great, because there's accessible products for people. But then at the same time, are we now just being like, well, let's process some food for gluten-free people?
Exactly. And that is exactly what's happening. It's one of the fastest growing industries. And you know what? Anywhere where there's money to be made, Unfortunately, there are companies that will produce things that aren't so great for you. And that's not to say, oh my gosh, you have to eat perfect 100% all the time. But when you're celiac or gluten intolerant, or if you have issues that benefit going gluten-free, food really is your medicine. So you need to make sure that the food you're eating is building you up, building your digestive system, not bringing it down by eating lots of sugar.
This is Canada Talks on Sirius XM, a voice from north of the border. Sirius XM 167.